The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening, I am Nashon Marenga. In the news tonight, City Police new tariffs underway, young entrepreneur teams up with American singer to give back to community, Nissan Leaf electric vehicle successfully test drives to Swakopmund, and Business on One, Comments Corner, Sport and the Weather. As from the 1st of January 2023, the Windhoek City Police will implement tariffs for services they offer, such as police escorts, assistance during events, requests for road accident reports, and CCTV footage, as well as statements. According to the municipal police, they are implementing new tariffs because they have been providing the services for free over the years, and it has been costly on its operations.
The Windhoek City Police will now charge 50 to 50 Namibian dollars per hour for police assistance during racing events, sporting events, procession and other gatherings in general. They will further charge 63 Namibian dollars for road accident report and CCTV footage, while 63 Namibian dollars per statement obtained from complainants, witnesses and victims. City Police Officer for Community and Public Relations, Superintendent Sili Kapolo, said prior to the introduction of new tariffs, the police provided services for free over the years. She said these services were carried out on request and beyond normal policing duties. However, it placed a significant impact on the operation cost of the service.
We have been inundated with requests for police services. We're talking about the police escorts coming from individuals or organizations. We're talking about assistance, police assistance in terms of events, the sport events, processions, and other gatherings in general. So we've been providing these services for free, and this has placed significant impact on the operational cost of the service. Hence the decision to start charging individuals or organizations requesting for these services. And on the other hand, it's also provided for by the law. So it's in terms of the Local Authority Act of 1992 that we should, that made provision for this, for the council to start charging the individuals and organizations for these services.
No fees will be charged for mandated functions like normal calls for service, attendance of road accidents and incidents of crime, and right-of-way for funeral processions and state motorcade activities is guaranteed, Superintendent Kapolo further clarified.
It's important to clarify that we will not be charging for mandated functions of the police. You understand? Because these are our mandated obligations that we're supposed to, safety to the community. We're talking about the normal calls for service, such as attending to road accidents and incidents of crime as well. So we will not be charging for that. That is normal. It's part of our functions. And it's also important to state right away that funeral processions, as well as state motorcade, their right-of-way is guaranteed in terms of the municipal bylaw, as well as road traffic and transport regulations, which are made under the Act 22 of 1999. So in that case, Windhoek City Police, these charges are not applicable to state motorcade and funeral escorts. So we are not charging for that.
The new tariffs will come into effect on the 1st of January 2023.
We've always had the bravery to stand up for what is Namibian, from protecting our homes to fighting injustices. We still celebrate what it means to us and raise a glass to those who show their bravery. No matter how they take on the world, with all this potential in the land of the brave, what will you do to make this Namibia your Namibia?
Get stunning summer linens with fresh floral prints at Pep and Pep Home. Double bed microfiber duvet cover sets in a range of reversible pastel prints and bold graphics. Only $149.99. Try softer pastels paired with bolder shades of deco to bring your bedroom to life. Microfiber fitted sheets available in assorted colors, just $59.99. Edgy and fresh. All the colors of summer come together at Pep Home.
A bucky.
Breaking news. A bucky every week.
Say it with me. Bucky. Bucky.
A bucky.
This festive season, there's a bucky up for grabs at OK every week. No wonder it's on everyone's lips. Buy any participating product to enter and you could win a brand new bucky plus petrol money for a year. Also save on Cross and Blackpool Original Mayonnaise for a low $72.99. Real Good frozen mixed chicken portions for just $76.99. And Coca-Cola Zero, a bargain at $16.99. Come for the savings, leave in a bucky.
Music executive and philanthropist Inyo Hamtenya, who recently teamed up with American singer and actress Noah Cyrus to give back to the less fortunate, stated that success is determined by how one impacts fellow human beings' lives.
25-year-old Hamtenya and Cyrus this week brought joy to the Dr. Franz Aupaindongo Special Care Center in Oshakati East by sponsoring 100,000 Namibian dollar cash donation. The center accommodates over 40 children with disabilities and has faced various challenges in recent years. Hamtenya, who is driven by making an impact in people's lives, stated that young entrepreneurs have to be responsible for the future of the country. He added that if young entrepreneurs can give to those who need help, a better Namibia will be realized.
I'm a strong believer that one's success is determined by what one is doing in other people's lives. It's only so much you can do for yourself and only so much you can gain for yourself. So I believe like you get to a certain stage where you start to see your success in other people's successes. It's just something that's been dear to my heart since a young kid. I've always been somebody that, I've been driven. I feel happy, let me put it as blunt as that, when I see the impact I have in other people's lives. May it be an opportunity or may it be a piece of bread. That's what drives me to keep going. So for me personally, with this donation, one thing I want for young Namibian entrepreneurs to take from it is that we are responsible for the future of our communities. We are responsible for the level of poverty in the country. We are responsible for the well-being of the country as a whole, the economy and everything. So I just believe like if we can start where it matters most, the masses, and that's the people that need help, then we can see a better future for Namibia. That is definitely one of my main motivations in life, to see our country at a better stage that it is for everyone, not only for the rich, but for the poor, for the middle class.
Hamtenya, who is also an entrepreneur, 8 fellow young business people who are successful in life not to forget where they come from or look down on the less fortunate, because businesses rely on the support of the local community.
I would just like to tell them that they must never forget they're no one without the community. I think that's very important for any businessman to understand. A business is run is made successful by the people, by the community. So you should never forget one day if you are lucky or your hard work has reaped the rewards. Never forget where you came from. Never forget that just that other person by your side can be in that same position that you are in. We are no different. I think it's just a mentality to close the gap in differences, in viewing each other as different and viewing each other as one, the Namibian people.
When asked about his plans, Hamutenya stated that more donations should be expected from him.
Can an electric vehicle drive all the way to Swakopmund from Windhoek and back? The answer is yes. Local electric vehicle enthusiast Sabran de Waal recently embarked on a journey to the coastal town of Swakopmund from Windhoek and returned safely in a Nissan Leaf. The 18-year-old undertook the 360-kilometer challenge to the coastal town to challenge perceptions that electric vehicles are not capable of driving longer distances.
Sabran told Agri on One that he is proud of his achievement and was impressed by the performance of the Nissan Leaf, adding that it was a lot more cost-effective using electricity as fuel compared to diesel or petrol to drive from Windhoek to Swakop and then back to Windhoek.
We stopped this at places we never ever stopped at on our way to Swakopmund. So we paid in total about 200 Rand, while petrol cars paid 2,400 Rand. And that was one of the biggest reactions that we got from people when they realized how cheap it was for us to drive it. So we stopped at 4 places: Okahanya, Wilhelmstal, Isakos and Narandes. At two of the places we charged for about half an hour. The other 2 places we had a bit longer charging session of an hour. If we had the infrastructure, we could have completed the trip and the charging in 4.5 hours instead of the 9 hours it took us. Because then instead of charging for half an hour, you could only charge 15 minutes or less. And our 2 longer stops would then only have taken about 20 minutes.
Sabran indicated, however, that the only challenge he experienced on his journey was the lack of established electric charging points specifically designed for electric vehicles like the one at the Groove Mall in Windhoek. The installation of electric charging points designed specifically for electric vehicles on the road to Swakop and other far-off points in the country, he says, would boost sales of electric vehicles, which would greatly benefit the natural environment.
There is a big need for infrastructure in Namibia to make these trips quick. The places I would say one needs charges are the 4 places we charged, with an optional one at Karabip, just so that people can choose the best places that suit them to charge. And the thing is, the more charging infrastructure there is, the more people would be willing to buy these cars. It benefits everyone if one person invests in a specific aspect of electric vehicles, as it starts turning the wheel so that all other areas of electric vehicles then benefit.
Are you interested in owning your very own electric vehicle?
You can get your very own electric vehicle at Electric Vehicles Namibia in Windhoek at Hypermotor City.
Black Friday is back at Spar with bigger deals and more days to bring you prices you just can't miss. Get Nescafe Classic Coffee for an extra low $59.99 and Huggies Dry Comfort Nappies Value Pack. Buy 2 for just $260. 23 to 27 November only. The Spar Black Friday sale. Don't miss out.
OK Furniture's biggest Black Friday sale ever is now on. It's 7 days of never-before-seen savings, like this 13-kilogram Samsung Great Top Loader washing machine for $5,490. Save $3,209 and save $3,009 on this 152-centimeter Restonic Champion base set. Now only $3,990. Don't miss out. Deals valid until 27 November at OK Furniture.
Welcome to Business on One. Youth from various faith-based organizations who attended a gathering on youth empowerment say they are ready to lead the dialogue in addressing the challenges facing young people, such as high unemployment, poverty, and moral decay in society. The ecumenical Endaba brought together young people who are part of leadership structures in churches to discuss the role of Christian youth in the struggle for social justice in the country. Guest speaker at the event, Waduva Kaumbi, who was the youth desk coordinator at the Churches Council of Namibia in the late 1980s, spoke of how the CCN and its support for progressive reform had an impact on the status quo at the time.
The CCN played a very important role, you know. It's almost like an alternative government, really the progressive government. Remember, we were not free, and I think SWAPO was effectively banned, you know, as a political party in Namibia. So we had to look for ways of achieving the same objectives without actually calling ourselves a political party. And then it, for instance, provided scholarships. Many people now in Namibia who were through the assistance of the CCN, you know, the scholarship, the Lutheran World Federation. There also legal assistance, especially to political activists. We heard about some of the guys who were detained. We had this AG8 and AG26 and all sorts of legislation there that were detaining people. And then you needed money then obviously to afford lawyers. In fact, the Legal Assistance Center to a large extent was really set up with the assistance of the churches. There was also this People's Clinic, for instance, in Chimbingwe, set up also by the... There's also one in Gibeon. Okay, good. There was one in Gibeon, there was one in Chimbingwe. You know, a few of our black doctors who volunteered, you know, about once a week or so, they would go to these clinics and treat people for free. You know, so these things happened in the past. So maybe these are some of the projects that we could maybe look at as well. And then very interestingly, what people also don't know, that NANSO and the Namibia Women's Voice, these were actually formations of the CCN. The CCN was actually instrumental in setting up these organizations in terms of providing the logistical support and so forth. So this is just in a nutshell. We can spend the whole day actually explaining, you know, the role of the churches.
During the event, participants engaged on proposals that will alleviate the challenges and roles of key stakeholders, including the youth, government, and churches.
The most important thing that I know I will get interest on is actually advocacy, and also just to rise up and be the voice of the voiceless, especially nowadays when we have unemployment, societal thoughts among the youth. So I expect to get equipped so that I help others as a leader.
There are these things that are affecting us as young people that we are so quiet about, that we are not talking about. So them being here, or us being here, it's going to be a wake-up call for us. And then from here on, we are going to have that voice, that needed voice for the young people to now take up the new war, to wage the new war of economic emancipation and so forth.
The last speaker, he was speaking about what they did before independence, the movements and all they did. And that really just encouraged me that even when they were in the midst of that, you know, people being taught by soldiers, and that was a difficult thing to face, like a soldier teaching you, and it was even in a brutal manner, and they still stood up. So I believe that as youth now, we are free and we can really do a lot. And it was just an encouragement for me to stand up more and be an advocate or be an activist out there and empower the youth also to follow the right movements.
Look, before independence, it was the young people from the churches. When for lack of better words, the Sabo Party was not allowed, the voice that spoke was the churches. And so the voice that spoke, being the churches, were young people in the churches largely that had the movement to ensure that we attained a political liberation. Today, the discussion looks at how young people of today within the churches can look at the role that they can play in socio-economic emancipation.
The one-day event was organized by the Desk for Social Development of the Evangelical Lutheran Church, Elseren, in collaboration with the Youth Desk of the Churches Council of Namibia. And that is all we have for you. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages for more on the business front.
Welcome to Friends Stadium. Everybody's ready. Wait a second, not everybody. Come on, dude. It's the FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat, the ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing more than a seat, your team is going to lose. Where are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold out much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And you, do you have everything you need to believe?
The world's biggest savings promotion just got bigger. ShopRite brings you the biggest saving days of the year, with not just 1, but 3 days of Black Friday. Don't miss out on the 3 biggest saving days of the year, only at ShopRite.
The statue of the German colonial military officer Kurt von Francois that has been standing at the city of Windhoek for 57 years has fallen. This comes after the city council last month approved the statue's removal. Christopher is of the view that many have not made peace, as hate and racism still exists, and now this statue had to be brought down. Thomas said the council's priorities are misplaced and misguided. Christopher disagrees with the activist, stating that von Francois was a soldier and the founder of Windhoek. That is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to engage in our stories on our social media pages for broadcast on News on One.
Congratulations to Naledi Huasis, who won herself $1,000 for taking part in the One Africa Scan, Rate and Win competition. We want to hear from you, so make sure to take part by scanning the QR code when it pops up on your screen and be the one to win.
Black Friday is back at Spar with bigger deals and more days to bring you prices you just can't miss. Get Spar Butter Brick for just $47.99 and 2-liter Spar Sunflower Cooking Oil for an unbelievable $59.99. 23 to 27 November only. The Spar Black Friday sale. Don't miss out.
And now let's have a look at some sports news. The senior national women's hockey fives team received a whopping $400,000 Namibian sponsorship from the Namib Desert Diamonds Namibia in the capital earlier today. The 9-strong team is slated to take part in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations to be hosted by Egypt for the first time from the 10th to the 15th of December.
Speaking at a media conference and handing over the national flag to the team, the Deputy Minister of Sport, Youth and National Services, Emma Kantema Gaumas, said the partnership will go a long way and will equally elevate the country in the sport fraternity.
I'm excited to be here today, this morning, as Mr. Muya was saying, that it's a very historic moment where we are seeing hockey transforming and not only doing the traditional way that we used to do. So as a Ministry of Sport, Youth and National Service, I'm delighted to be part of these shared efforts where we are seeing the vision to transform positively the lives of our young people, where we are giving them an opportunity to continue putting Namibia on the map, and particularly that we are witnessing our first ever fives going to represent us. So we are really wishing you all the best. And at this point, I really want to urge again the corporates out there to come on board. Let's come and support, not just only limit to Namibia, but to ensure that, because when the sports thrive, we are building the nation, we are providing the youth with employment, we are also empowering them. So as a ministry, we continue to devise our strategies to advocate for the sports industry as one of the initiatives to empower our young people. To you, Namibia, it may look like it's just a sponsorship, but to us, it's giving a livelihood to the young people. That's what your sponsorship is going to do. You are going to uplift the socio-economic status, which gives us such a pleasure. As we always say, sports can contribute to the economy, and it can also act as an employment opportunity. This should serve as an inspiration to all the athletes that indeed, when talent is put to good use, with commitment and dedication, sport has the potential to change lives.
Namibia Public Relations Officer Beverly Kousemund revealed that the Diamond Company has over the years pledged millions towards different sport codes in the country, including athletics.
Namibia and Namibia particularly has been an avid supporter of hockey and all sports codes. We have invested and spent over $30 million Namibian thus far in sports. So it is indeed an honor and a privilege to once again partner up with the National Hockey Union through the senior women's team, who also hold this coveted title of African champions. We are pleased to announce and hand over our sponsor.
Meanwhile, the Namibia Hockey Union awarded deserving players and officials last night at a prize-giving ceremony in the capital. The president of the hockey union in the country, Reagan Gregg, reiterated that recognizing the achievements builds a strong culture.
And then we also wanted to celebrate those individuals that got colors, officially represented our country, from the under-18 boys and girls to the men and women, the men who participated in Ghana, and then the women who played in Harare, Zimbabwe. Then we also celebrated our Masters. So the Masters played in the World Cup in September 2022 in Cape Town.
The senior women's hockey five-a-side team will only have 2 weeks to rest before starting preparations for the World Cup early next year.
That's all the sports news we had for you. Please stay tuned for the weather forecast. We have come to the end of tonight's edition of News on One. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. From me, Nishan Marenga, and the rest of the team, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future.